What's up guys, I'm Joel Dodge, welcome back to the channel. So today I have a really exciting video. I'm comparing Bias FX 2 Mobile to the HX Stomp, and I think you might be surprised with the results. So let's get into it. So guys, the first thing I want to do is say thank you to my friend Joey who let me borrow his HX Stomp to make this video. So of course I don't own one, couldn't have done it without you. Thanks you so much, bro. The next thing I wanted to talk about is how I recorded both of these. Those of you who follow my channel know that I use an iPad Pro for all of my home recordings, and that's what I used for this as well. So for Bias FX, I used the Apogee Jam Plus as the interface, going directly in, and with the HX Stomp, of course, I used the interface that's inside of it. So I actually ran into a very similar thing that I ran into with the Bias FX versus Bias FX 2 comparison I did, and it's that these simulations respond very differently to how you set the settings. So I wasn't able to just put the same settings in each device and have a sound and that was comparable or that even sounded good in either device. So what I decided to do is set up a rig that has all the same things and dial those rigs into what I thought was the best sound. So I'm gonna put the setup from Bias FX on the screen just so you can see what the general layout is. I started with a Klon style pedal going into an OCD style pedal. And the amp I chose was an AC30 style amp, and I used an impulse response it's a high watt 2x12. It's one of my favorite impulse responses that I've used for clean and crunchy kind of tones, the kind of sounds that I'm going to be demoing in this video. After that, I put just a general analog delay and a reverb. The hardest thing to match in these two things for me was the delays and reverbs. So I don't think I got those dead on, but I also don't feel like that's gonna affect your ability to hear the difference between these two setups. So the last part of this comparison is gonna say something like my favorite or something like that. And basically for that part, I just tried to make the best sounding rig I could make inside of each one of these devices. So it's kind of, and I'm sure a lot of that is a personal preference, but I thought it would be cool to just see how much different it sounds if I don't limit myself to any specific effects or units, if that makes sense. Before we get into the comparison, I am gonna have notes on the screen that tell you which device I'm using and what effects are on at the time. But one thing, if you do get confused, you can just look at the bottom right corner and see if there's a laptop there. And if there's a laptop there, I was using the HX Stomp, and I conveniently left it there for you guys. Just kidding. I used the laptop to change some of the settings on the HX Stomp, and then I left it on the couch behind me, and it was such a beautifully filmed video other than that. So anyway, let's get into it. So guys, I'll be posting a video next week where I share what I think are the strengths and weaknesses of each one of these setups. But definitely let me know your thoughts down below. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. But as always, DieMD, I'll catch you in the next one.